Hello and welcome to this impromptu reading for the new galactic year on the 26th of July 2022. So the galactic year is based on the heliacal rise of Sirius. I'm not actually an astrologer, so if you are, please feel free to wade in the comments and add a little bit more detail as to what that signifies. But I've been guided very, very strongly to give a reading today. When I started to tune into the energy of the new galactic year, my third eye went on fire. It was absolutely on fire. It was quite uncomfortable, and I could feel all different elements coming in, and I was told very strongly by my guides, this is a moment to do a reading, this is a moment to share some information. So here we are. I've laid out 3 cards. Now these are for everyone. I'm just going to tune into those for you and bring through a bit more information, and then there will also be an opportunity to pick a card for the theme for your year for the next 12 months until the next heliacal rise of Sirius, until the 26th of July next year. I apologise if I'm tripping over my words a little bit at the moment because the messages are coming through really, really fast to my third eye. I can feel the connections very strong at the moment, and sometimes I trip over my words a bit when I'm starting to channel, when things are coming through me. So apologies in advance. Let's take a look. So the first card that actually is the first card that fell out, I nearly said sold out. The first card that sold out, it's very odd, is Soul Name. And I feel that sold out is important. Very often what happens when I'm channeling, I talk really fast and words start to come through me, but they tumble out, not in the right order. So with Soul Name, this card, we're going to look at this one to start with. And I feel like this is a very, very important theme. This is kind of the big theme here. It's what I've talked about previously. There is a coming of age of humanity that's happening at the moment, but Soul Name, it feels like there's a very deep remembering on an individual level of who we truly are, who on a much grander level than on just the human level, who past lives, who we truly are, what we've done, what we've achieved, what we're here to do, what we're here to bring, the gifts we're here to bring. It's very, very powerful, and it's going to be very deep and very personal for each individual. So I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to feel like this, it's going to feel like that, because it will be different for each person, but it's very, very intense energy coming through. Soul Name. There may even be an actual new name that comes through to you. You may feel there is some sort of name from a past life or a spiritual name that you want to incorporate somehow into your life, or not. You don't have to have a different name. That's more for the human level. That's more for our benefit that we have names at all. But it's a very new energy, I want to say, on that powerful number 1. It's literally shooting out of the void now. This is new information shooting down towards us, information that we weren't expecting. This is downloads that we weren't expecting, upgrades that we weren't expecting. And I want to bring in the other 2 cards here as well, because look at this amazing golden beam shooting down from heaven down to earth. Very, very powerful. And I think the next year is going to be a real year of manifestation. I mean, really bringing change to the world as we want it to be, really starting to see some serious big changes in the world, changes in our lives on that very wise 25/7. It's very, very potent psychic energy that's actually coming through today, specifically as we begin this new galactic year. But also, I want to talk about a full galactic year is actually the time it takes for the sun to orbit the centre of the Milky Way. Now, that takes 230 million years. Obviously, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the heliacal rise of Sirius, which happens every year. But it is important to remember that that's the energy that we're in. It's a very, very big, expansive energy of our sun, obviously us in tow, orbiting the centre of the Milky Way, orbiting that centre, that galactic centre, which is sending us so much love and wisdom at the moment. And one of the reasons that there are those who want to block out the sky so that we can't receive those messages, those rays, those galactic rays coming through to us, helping us with our ascension, helping us with our enlightenment, helping us with our growth, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. It won't actually work. The fact that they're trying to do that, I'm aware that they're trying to do that, and I'm also aware that it's not working. So I'd want to bring in that reassurance there as well. Now with Whispers, on that number 12, wow. 12 in numerology is the number of perfect governance. So there is a real opportunity here to reorder your life, reorder the world, very much on the individual level, but also on the macro level as well. There is a reordering taking place right now. And we've got this beautiful Merkaba in the centre here, which is representative of the Merkaba of the energy body. And then these like this double helix of what we might consider to be the DNA. Absolutely fascinating to see that, but there's a real new order coming in, not just to governments, not just to the world, but to each of us on an individual level. And I think as well, our bodies will be going through some shifts and changes these next 12 months. And it's going to be quite telling as well, based on what we've done so far, the choices we've made, the important spiritual choices that we've made for our physical being, for our body temple. You know, it is the temple at the end of the day. We are going to see some payoffs there and also some changes. Now, I'm not entirely sure what those changes will be, but I'm being told changes, so pay attention to what your body is telling you. Pay attention to your life if you suddenly feel that you need to bring in a completely new order, a completely new way of doing things. But there's so much wisdom in that powerful number 12 coming through there with the 25-7 and the 1. But the 12-3 brings in a whole new identity. It brings in the potential for a whole new identity. So it may be that some people literally have a complete life change on this day, or moving on from this day, or this galactic year. So it's a very, very fascinating, very, very powerful spiritual day. There's a lot of downloads coming through to us. There's a lot of spiritual information coming through. So if you can spend some time today or in the coming days in meditation, in contemplation, tune in to the Galactic Center and, you know, ask what wisdom there is for you for the next 12 months. Ask what messages at the Galactic Center that, you know, our beloved brothers and sisters in different star systems can actually tell us. So next I am going to move on to a pick a card. So we're going to have 3 cards to choose from here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so take a moment to pause this video if you need to. We have card number 1, card number 2 in the middle, and card number 3 on the end. And when you've chosen, I will give you the meanings. So card number 1 is number 44, expansion. Now this is, oh, I love this energy. It's so expansive. It's that Merkaba. It's the human soul spreading out in all directions, reaching out, remembering just how big and how powerful. And by power, I don't mean as in power over others. I mean power over the self, true power, true authority, true mastery of the self. Self-mastery is what comes through very strongly here. There's also a connection to the Christ consciousness, but it's bringing it very much down to earth on that very, very powerful grounding boom coming down to earth, number 44-8 there. But it's a reminder that we've been here before. If you picked this card, this is definitely not your first lifetime. You may be quite an old soul. You're very much here to bring in the Christ consciousness in this lifetime, to bring in the second coming of that energy and to help the world move to a kinder, more empathic, more enlightened state, which is where we're going anyway. But you are one of the helpers. You are here. Your crown chakra is wide open right now to receive the messages. So be open to what's coming through you. There's a lot of information going to be coming through into the energy body. So pay attention to what your body does over the next 7 days, I want to say. But also remember that even if you're in turbulent waters right now, if things are difficult or not quite how you need them to be, bring in the violet ray and work with that to actually improve things for you. There's many different meditations that you can use to bring that in. Very, very beautiful, powerful energy for you there, number 1. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. We have number 6, grounding. Wow. Okay, this is nicer. The energy of number 6 is a little bit slower, which is why my speech has slowed down as I'm pulling this one through. This is much more gentle, much more sedate energy, and it speaks to a calmer road ahead for you. It feels as though you are one of the souls that's here to actually ground that spiritual energy. You're here to help people keep their feet on the ground, to stop them from floating off a little bit too much, becoming space cadets and disappearing off into the ether. I feel that this is a very practical year for you, which is going to be nice. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to be a spiritual one, far from it. But there is a call to nature. There is a call to reconnect to nature, to reground yourself by going outside barefoot onto grass or, onto some natural surface, to reconnect with the trees in your environment, with the animals, and really, talk to the sun. I want to say, I'm giving the words talk to the sun, so communicate with sun's rays, with sun energy, in a safe way. Of course, don't look directly at the sun. I shouldn't have to say that, but these are the times we live in. And just see where that takes you, because there's a real feeling of oneness. It's a very serene energy coming through. So that speaks to me of the possibility for a very serene and actually quite a pleasant year for you coming up. It feels like things are finally calming down a bit, but there's a real light still shining up here, still guiding you no matter what. Even if it feels a little bit slower than previously, that's not a bad thing. It's just that season of your life right now. So, and it is on that lovely number 6 as well, the 6, the number of the heart, the sacred chalice. So this is very much a pulling together now of all the energy for you, just sort of squishing it all together within you and really bringing it into oneness within yourself and feeling that oneness with all of the world as well. Very beautiful, beautiful energy. So number 3, if you picked card number 3, wow, beautiful, reassuring message. Number 7, nothing has gone wrong. Now this card's been coming out quite a bit in my readings. There's a lot of people who clearly need that reminder right now. It's a reminder, you know, that there is no such thing as good and bad. Everything is subjective. And of course that is the case. You know, we are human beings. But there's a lot of wisdom. There's also the fire energy of these lovely fairy dragons here. Fiery dragons around the edges. But we've also kind of got like a fire dragon here and a water dragon there. So it's a reminder that there is power and strength in everything, that there is a lesson in everything, that there is purpose in everything, even if you're having a difficult time of things, which you may be if you've picked card number 3 today. But there's also great wisdom, and with that mystical number 7 coming through, there's a lot of mysticism, a lot of psychic ability. It could be that your own abilities are growing or perhaps even going off the charts at the moment and you're not sure what to do with them. Your energy feels fragmented, like it's going off in the 4 directions right now. So there is a reminder to sit, to meditate, to pull it back in, maybe spend some time with someone who picked card number 2, because they will probably be able to help you with that more effectively. So if you know someone who picked that card, that's your friend for the next year. And if you pick card number 2, this is your job to help these people here. Okay, so yes, it's not so much an easy energy that you're in at the moment, and it may be something of a challenging galactic year for you, but ultimately I think it's going to bring a lot of balance. It's going to bring more stability. It's going to bring more balance, just going through these choppy waters that you may be going through at the moment, or that you may go through this year. So it's a very wise energy, but there is a reminder there not to shut yourself off from other people. Don't think that you have to stay away from other people or be a hermit and spend too much time on your own, because ultimately I don't think that's going to be particularly helpful for you. So I do have one last card for everyone here that I just wanted to share. I wasn't going to pick another card, but this one decided to come out right at the end. And it's number 33, Soul Love. And this is so beautiful. I felt a bit emotional when I pulled this one out, because the energy is so high today, just really coming through. And it's on that beautiful number 33-6, so it's the 6 again. 33 being the number of the Christ consciousness, that beautiful sacred energy that we are bringing down to earth. We are bringing heaven to earth right now. That is our purpose, to bring heaven to a darker place, or for at least to remember that that's already within us, and we can shine that light of heaven, that beautiful, loving, empathic, compassionate light for others. And look at all these colours. Look how gentle they are. This is a very gentle energy that comes off this one. This isn't in your face. This isn't being slapped upside the head with a wet kipper. This is not like 44. This is a much gentler energy, and it tells us new beginnings are always possible. Positive changes are always possible, but there's so much love coming through from the galactic centre this galactic year. I think it's a year where we're going to really start to feel that connection to each other a lot more keenly, because we are all one, of course, but we're going to also feel that connection to the star nations, to the beings in other dimensions, on other planets, you know, whatever you want to call that. Some are both in other dimensions and on other planets, you know, other beings, wildlife, the animals on this planet, you know, on a very concrete level, but also with each other, other human beings. So there's a real coming together, I feel, in this next year, which is going to be absolutely fascinating to watch. It's very beautiful, very sacred energy. My heart chakra really lit up as I was doing this reading, and I'm talking a bit slower now as the energy starts to dip as we reach the end. So if there's anything that you would like to add, I would love to hear from you. Please do leave me a comment. Remember to subscribe to the channel because that really helps me, and leave me a like if you enjoyed this video. Again, if you are an astrologer and you have something that you'd like to add for everyone, you know, some information that you'd like to share with us about the galactic year, I would love to hear it. So again, please do comment, and I will see you all again soon.